What is up? What is up, everybody? This is your girl Shay-on-a-Mission, and today's podcast is so special and so daring to me because I finally got this individual on the show with me because it's really hard to get this wrong. But I love her to death. We go way back from TI days. So anybody that watches the replay, shout out to my TI. That's the high school we went to. So what's so special about the speaker? The speaker is actually, we went to high school. Like I said, TI, traditional and stuff like that. I've seen her growth, her entrepreneur journey, and she's actually my hairstylist too. She actually has her own salon, JR Salon. J&R Salon. She's gonna get more into it. Her name is Jennifer. So Jennifer, introduce the audience to who you are, and more and more you guys are gonna know why I selected her today.
Well, hello, Sharaya. Thank you so much for inviting me on my first podcast, girl.
First, okay.
Yeah, this is my first.
Okay. So Jennifer is a stylist. She has a salon downtown Buffalo area. So if you ever come to the Buffalo, New York area, or if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, schedule an appointment with Jen as well as her other great stylists. And they have all different types of great services. So more and more get into Jen. Can you tell about J&R Salon, when it was founded, how long you've been doing J&R Salon? Why did you start doing it? It's actually a J&R Salon and Day Spa. So she's gonna give you the whole full rundown now.
Okay, so thank you for that great introduction. J&R Salon stands for my initials and it represents my brand. So J&R Salon, the name came about, I would say 2012, 2011. It's been a long journey just to get to where I am now. We are going into our 6th year anniversary for the salon grand opening at the end of January, but we are officially in our 6th year as of the beginning of November. So I'm so excited about that. Thank you to all of our supporters, especially Sharaya for supporting us and being available to come in for appointments and everything, because without you guys, it's no business. So thank you very much, Sharaya, for your support and always shouting us out first and foremost. So J&R Salon came about. Back then, it was a long time coming due to the fact that I couldn't find a location. So it just took some time until we found our location back in 2015. So that's when the location was established. And that's when I certified my business and everything back in 2015. And now we are here today, going into our 6th year.
Awesome. So going into that journey, definitely, like I probably been rocking with having Jen as my stylist for 3 years, and I said I should have started even sooner, but time happened. The one thing I love about the fact of her salon is her professionalism. She has your Better Business Bureau, better though at AAA, I think it is Better Business Bureau.
Well, we were certified with Better Business Bureau. We still can be. It was just the fact that some things at that time, especially for COVID, I had to let go due to payment issues.
Right.
But we can be recertified. They call us once a month. But until we fully get back on our feet, then we'll go back into, because that's a paid service to have basically. But we were very much qualified in that aspect.
Okay. And also her treatment, one of the things the reason you're going to see more and more why I brought her on to the podcast. I didn't say, hey, you're my stylist and everything. Yes, anybody can get their stylist on a podcast. They could get any type of stylist, but she actually doesn't just, she tried to perfect and love her craft. And before pre-COVID, she wasn't going out of town just for, sometimes she would go out of town with her son and have family outings and stuff like that. But she was going on hair conferences. I'm like, I've heard of business conference, but she went to the extreme of going to, I don't even know, she went to treatment conferences, just hair show conferences, business hair show conferences. And I'm like, really, Jen, you doing that? You on that level? Like, yeah, that's how you really start mastering your craft. And that shows growth of how much you really love yourself as an entrepreneur, how you really want to better yourself. Because now now with one of the newest things that we're going to talk about more at the end of the actual episode is how she actually is branding out more. And now she got actual like different hair products that she's selling and, hair caps. I mean, whenever I get my hair done and with, like now I got the little cap that I want and stuff like that, if I need to re-up my oils and stuff like that. So she just don't just, oh, come get your hair done and that's it. No, she tells you about the treatment. She tells you, and like I know right when I'm ready to get my hair and need my hair to be trimmed up, even though we're gonna have to watch them scissors. Just joking. She does a phenomenal job. She makes sure I don't cross my legs when I'm getting my ends trimmed and stuff like that. So she's definitely,
you don't want to be uneven when you cross your legs. The body position you're sitting in is how your trim will be. So if you're sitting, once I unfold my legs, my shoulders are now even. But when I have my legs crossed, you see I'm at that diagonal. So you want to keep your legs uncrossed so you can have that even trim.
There you have it. So now that we talked a little bit about hair, we're not gonna make this a full-fledged hair show. We're gonna really get in depth with her journey as an entrepreneur. So Jim, I've been asking this all season long for season 1. What is your 2021 word of this year?
Oh, the word of this year is literally words one day at a time. Because at this point, all you could do is take this one day at a time. Between appointments, books, cancel, booked again, cancel, reschedule. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it. It's just been, a lot of ups and downs after this whole COVID thing. So this is something that we're not used to. And this is also, my clients are not used to not being able to book year round. The book is only open 30 days at a time and they don't like that. You guys don't like that.
I don't.
I'm so nervous. It's going to be another shutdown. I don't want to open a book for the whole year. That was tough. To have to cancel a whole year's book of services because we had 2 shutdowns. So literally the words.
But she still is standing, and that's she still is standing, and I'm proud of her that because there's so many people that have not come back in business. I mean, look at like back in our hometown on Fridays. There's a lot of Fridays that close down. One on Walden Gallery. You would think that one still gets a lot of traffic. That one got shut down. Another one, there like several TGI Friday. Boulevard Mall. There's only like I think one stand in TGI Friday. That's downtown near you.
A lot of places, even our mall, like a lot of those big staple stores and even a lot of those mom and pop stores did not survive. So I'm very, very, very grateful for our clients.
Yeah, like one of Leonardi's clothes. I just remembered that. Yeah, I did remember that. It's a mom and pop's pizzeria that was at our hometown, and they closed down after like 40 something years. So literally, so for Jen to still be going strong during this pandemic and doing what she got to do.
We celebrated our 5-year anniversary coming back from being closed for a month and a half for a second shutdown.
Yeah.
Do you
that was brutal. I was so like, man, what I'm gonna do with my hair? Like
that was brutal.
Like I quickly tried to put my hair in braids.
Yes. Could you imagine just like, oh my gosh, am I going to be open for my salon anniversary? Like that was the hardest thing ever, literally.
But at the same time, it comes with this next question I want to ask you. What inspired you to open up the hair salon? And this ideally probably kept you going to, regardless of the setbacks that you had, you're going to have a lot of come ups, like literally, like you started thinking outside the box. And now you got your whole JNR, like you could sell your merchandise and stuff like that with it too. So that really like, she's thinking outside the box. There's a few other things that I can't wait till she even more brings out because she's got a gift, she really got a gift of not just loving the hair, but also, having people that want to come in. So if I'm gonna basically I do promote like anybody that basically, especially I just support, I rock and support. I'm definitely gonna let you guys know if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, if you're a licensed stylist esthetician, help a sister out. Any other ones? Any
Nail
other?
technician.
Nail technicians. Definitely go ahead and check out JNR and check out Jen and say, hey, I want to talk to the owner. I want to be a nail technician. I want to be a stylist. And she'll definitely tell you, what's the do's and don'ts. I mean, the professionalism is definitely there. Just, customer service. She'll teach you about that. She'll teach you of things that you're doing wrong, maybe pricing and some things that you're including and shouldn't be including, and stuff like that. So she's not just there to just like, oh, give me your rent fee and that's it. Nah, like you actually help her, she'll just actually be there. And that's one thing I see that all her stylists and nail technicians and everybody that's part of the staff, they really look up to her as the leader, as well as she doesn't just take her pride like, oh, well, I'm the dictator and that's it. She actually learns from them too. So I love that. So going into your question, what inspired you to do your hair salon?
Okay, so this salon has been a lifelong dream. This is something that I've wanted to do since I was 3. Yes, 3 years old. I still have my Barbies. I probably had over 1,000 babies and Barbies and dolls, literally over 1,000. That I just love so much. So, and I always loved how my mom would come home from getting her hair done. You know how the 90s, late 80s, early 90s styles was just the best styles ever. And I always just loved her hair. So that is something, I don't know what's just in me. And I noticed, not noticed, but at my grandmother's house, whoever was the previous owner was a hairstylist because they had a home salon in the basement. So that shampoo bowl and that chair just always sat there. It was just something that was just very enticing to me. So since 3 years old, it was a lifelong dream, a lifelong journey, and it took some time because it's not easy. People think, oh, I went to school, I graduated. If they even went to school, I could just open a business, and it does not work like that. It's very much of a stepping stone. You take from every place that you work at what you like, what you don't like, and once you get to your space, you put what you like together and only work with people that you can really work with. Because when you don't work with people you cannot work with, it's not an easy task. You want to have fun at work. You want to be able to have a good time. We always have great conversations at the salon.
Oh yeah, she's like a big sister slash a mama at the same time. But she's a sweetheart. Speaking of the pandemic, I remember last year I did my photo shoot. She almost probably, I did my photo shoot. I was all dressed up. She did my hair earlier that day. And I said, people not coming because of COVID, blah, blah, blah. We good. She's like,
for your
nah.
birthday. For your
Yeah,
birthday.
for my birthday.
Yeah.
I did my photo shoot and everything like that. Like Jen did my hair, and then I went to the photo shoot, and then like later on, she was like so much of a sweetheart. Long story short, this is a relation of entrepreneurship and everything firsthand. You should try and build relationships with people that are doing your service for your hair, because you never know, and everything like that. Granted, me and Jen had a relationship way before I was doing even getting services from her, but I say that we are 10 times stronger. She's my stylist, so I'd be texting her questions and she'd be like, look in the book. I don't know right now. Or I've called her just to say like, oh yeah, I could have did that. And like, I just probably wanted to hear her voice, just come up with something random. She's like, Shay just wanted to hear my voice. So next time I just call you randomly, knowing I could have just looked it up online. I just wanted to hear Jen's voice right quick. But long story short, what makes her such a good friend and stylist is that she's like, you was too cute to be wasting all the makeup that you got done, the hair and everything. And she basically blessed me, and we basically went to we still went out to eat at Carrabba's. So that is one of the dear true heart personalities that you're gonna get from Jen when you get to know her and follow her and stuff like that. Also, I think she has a YouTube, so we're gonna be pushing that 2022 more. I got some ideas to help push that, and I know she's not a big techie, but she about to be because everybody gonna know.
Right.
2022.
I always get the post and I always forget. Like,
2022. People gonna know who JNR is and what she all about. Like that. So before I go into the next question, I got to do an add-on question. You said 3 years old. 3 years old. Because hairstylists, we got to talk about this. I said I was going to mention this up, and I said I was going to have some add-on questions. So this question, I definitely got to add on for 3 years old because being in the hair industry is not ideal, for anybody. And what would you suggest when somebody doesn't, I mean, you had probably great support line. What would you say to somebody that doesn't have great support? They just want you to go do school to be an engineer, a doctor, or a teacher or something like that. But their love and their passion is doing hair. Doing hair or doing anything in the hair close to the hair industry.
So for myself, I really don't care what anybody thinks. No, high answer is I do not care. So nobody can tell me anything that I don't want to do ever. They've never could. So let's just get that straight. So I was always able to follow my dreams, no matter what. I still went to college. I did my degree is in hospitality and tourism, and I used hospitality and tourism as a gateway into what I was already doing because of the form of service. Business class just wasn't for me. I started off in business classes at Buffalo State, and it was just too flat. Like it didn't offer anything else. So the hospitality program offered everything because it's not just business. It's hotels, it's restaurants, it's cruise line, it's anything. And that means I could take my business anywhere. So it was perfect for me. So even when I built my website, everything that I did in school as a project is literally what I use on my website if you go on there. So I would take bits and pieces from projects that I got A's on and put it all together. And that's how I have such a great website and a great menu because I did it back in school. So when it was time, after I graduated from beauty school, all I had to do was put everything together when it was go time, and when my doors opened, I was ready. I wasn't behind. So that's why I said it takes time. Take those little stepping stones and build upon that versus just, oh, I'm done with school, I'm just going to open a business, and you have no idea what you're doing. You haven't even worked in that atmosphere. A lot of people have never even worked anywhere before, and then like, oh, I'm just gonna open a business. Like, that's hard because either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. When you don't have like that support, that's hard. It's very hard. So that's why I've been very, very grateful that even my grandmother, like when I was in beauty school, when I started, I was 4 months pregnant right after college. 4 months pregnant, college, graduated in May, September, pregnant, school, carrying that 15-pound bag. Everybody knows me, no, I don't drive. So on the train, walking, then getting on the train, then getting on the bus with that 15-pound bag, graduated, still had my baby, came back to school, finished my last month. So I have the textbook in one hand, a bottle on my chin, baby in the arm, studying until I finished. So I'm grateful that I had a lot of people to help me with my kid so I can have my business. A lot of people don't have that support to be able to even do the things that I've done. So I'm grateful for that because my grandmother was retiring soon as he was going into school. So it just worked out. Yeah.
I mean, but the struggle is real as an entrepreneur, but at the same time, one thing about an entrepreneur, you'll make a way. You will make a way, regardless if you will make a way. You will make a way. I know there's some daycares that's out here that's 24/7. I'm no lie. There are some daycares that's literally 24/7. Huh?
Granny was the bomb. I wish Granny still did daycare. Her name is Daisy Lockett, but we call her Granny because all the kids called her Granny. Granny cooks real dinners. Whatever Granny was doing, the kids was with her, and she did pick up and drop off services. So it's literally as soon as I graduated, one of the girls was graduating right behind me, and she was like, "Oh, my mother has a daycare." Thank you, because I'm begging my friends every day. Everybody was keeping my kid literally until Granny came along, and then once he went to school, my grandmother was retiring, so it literally
things will work itself out. Literally, like
out. Yes. Now he'll be 14 next month. Yeah.
I mean, and things will work itself out. So that's where I want to tell everybody that's listening to replay, that you can really make a way as an entrepreneur. But it's honestly, you gotta build relationships, like literally, like I have so much, like I don't utilize just, oh, Jen's just my stylist and everything like that. The reason why we're so much stronger and we are so cool is because of the fact that sometimes I'll just check and text up or text on her. You got to build that relationship with people because you never know what outlet. Like literally, like I reached out to one of my entrepreneurs. She's a matter of fact, a radio personality for Buffalo, and recently today, and I said, hey, do you know this person? So and so and so. Jen, like whenever I ask Jen might know, like whenever, like I mean, like she just got her first house, so congrats on that. She's a recent home owner. 1 year, 2 years going into, so she's been making moves.
Yeah, during the pandemic, actually. So
she had a house there. She got a house during the pandemic.
On my birthday, my bid was accepted. And as the day went on, that March 13th, during the pandemic, everything started shutting down as I got there. Literally everything. And my bid was accepted, but and then come my mother's birthday, 5 days later, the whole world was shut down. So now my bid was accepted on this house that nobody knows I even put a bid on.
Nope, she didn't tell me until she got the house. I'm like,
really? But my mother didn't know. Nobody knew until I was closing. So 2 days before closing is when I told people, because I didn't know what was going to happen, because I was paying for 3 places with no income because we were shut down. The whole road was closed.
And you made a way, babe. God, let you thinking about that, because you were listening. You had to think about, because you had to think about the salon. You had to think about, and you made a way.
Loft at the time. Lofts aren't cheap. So salon, living in a loft, and my bid was accepted on a house, and I no longer had an income coming in. So I was paying for 3 locations.
But now she has her other new resources of income that will be exploded in 2021. So real talk on everything. So with that saying, I gotta ask, how do you keep it going? How do you actually keep it going?
One day at a time, girl. Literally one day at a time.
Okay.
I literally one day at a time. I just try to keep up with my daily agendas and tasks and tackle everything as it comes. Normally, I like to plan everything out a year in advance, and I no longer can do that. So one day at a time is all I could. That's all my brain can do at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with that being said, before we go to my favorite section of the podcast, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to start a hair salon, start off as an entrepreneur? Because I think you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said you can just like, oh, I'm done with this, let me go this. Oh, I got this business idea, let me do this. And people don't take the time out to actually put the work in the research. Like, how I became a mental fitness coach was this AKA like a mindset coach. I had to build my mindsets from 2017 to now. I didn't just like, oh, coach, if you told me 5 years ago that I was gonna be a coach, I would have said, what? I'm gonna be a coach? Nah, I would have said, nah, I'm gonna be something e-commerce or something. Nah. Now, if I want to do e-commerce on the side, that could be one of my streams of income. But my top love and passion is helping people. And Jen knows I love giving back to people. I mean, one of the other things is philanthropy work. So therefore, that took time for me to figure out, like entrepreneurship. It takes time to figure out what you want to do, unless you already have a passion. Like Jen, she already had a passion for hair, so it made sense for her to have a business in hair and expand on that and have the day spa with it. It's sometimes some people just like, oh, I want to do this, and they don't have it together, and stuff like that. So starting point, like I know she gave me a lot of gems while I was doing things and stuff like that. What advice would you give to them?
So first and foremost, for myself, I didn't have a mentor. When I was in beauty school, the first beauty school I went to, I would say, was the best school, BBTC, Mr. Fasanella. Too bad we could not finish. If you are familiar with the Buffalo area, We had a Buffalo vocational school that shut down in our junior year. And going into our senior year, we did not have school anymore. So if we wanted to go to any trade school, we had to do it after we graduated. We weren't they didn't want us to be able to go to BOCES, and we still do not have a vocational school. So I'm not happy about that. But the second school I went to after I graduated from college, because I knew beauty school wasn't going anywhere. And even though I always hated school from day one, Head Start, I did not talk. I didn't even make friends until the second grade. You have to. I did not make friends. I didn't talk to anybody. Everybody, if you know me, know I do not. I'm not a talker unless I. You have to have a plan first and foremost. It's not an instant gratification. We know in the late 2000s, everything is an instant gratification. And when you come into business, that is not something that you could just, and then it's just there and it's going to happen.
You can't, and then we don't even recommend it to just snap and quit your day job. It's not like the FUBU days. It's not like those days. Matter of fact, honestly, I'm gonna let you know right now, Damon John, who created FUBU, he didn't quit his day job. He was working at Red Lobster. He's working at Red Lobster during the day. His mom was helping sewing and stuff like that until he got to a point. That's when he went full time. Jen, right. I don't know, like, did you was he working at JCPenney's at one point?
I worked at Supercuts for 2 weeks. I started off at a small local salon. Mm-hmm. From there, I transitioned to Supercuts for 2 years, then transitioned to JCPenney salon, and then my cousin opened her salon. Mm-hmm. And from there, I transitioned to my space.
See, so
that was my process, and that was my journey. So here is all that has ever been. I've had 2 regular other jobs, and that was before I even became pregnant with my son. That was in the early 2000s. So that's the last time I actually worked a 9 to 5 was in 2012, 2013. No, 2012 was the last time I worked a regular 9 to 5, even though it was at JCPenney salon. Transitioning to my cousin's salon, you know, she's like, I believe in you. We can do this. It's going to be me and you. We got this. And I'm like, okay. And
you're almost close to that 10-year mark. You're almost close to that 10-year mark where you've been full time.
So So even though I was always a full-time stylist, just being on my own without that paycheck. Yeah. So 2000, matter of fact, it was actually, it was 2011. So I will always, and one of the things that I always wanted that I didn't have was a mentor. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I went to my first beauty show. That was the craziest trip ever, but we had a blast. My son was 6 months old, and we drove in a 2-door bucket seat car to Atlanta, bananas. And that was my first show experience, and I'm trying to get to the show this coming June. So because I didn't have a mentor, those classes is for sure my mentor. So make sure you get you a mentor. Make sure you take a ton of classes. Make sure you're open to learning. And YouTube is not school. It will give you some tricks, but YouTube is not school.
And TikTok too. People be looking at TikTok too. TikTok's a thing now too.
That's not school. So all the YouTube sensations, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not school. You have to take your state board. You have to get your license. You have to get your paperwork. A lot of people do not have their paperwork. Even if liability insurance, these are things that you need to have. And a lot of people don't have these things. So whatever you decide to do, make sure you go about it the right way, no matter what it is, because if something goes wrong, it's gonna come out your pocket because you do not have liability insurance. So that's the best thing I could really say for that. Mentor, classes, get your insurance. Because you never want to go through something and it go wrong. God forbid they sue you, and now you looking like, what am I gonna do?
And we're not trying to scare you guys, but we just telling you the real. We just trying to tell you the real of, yes, you can start off with a business, but literally get the tools, and don't you, if one of the things I tell people, if you're not willing to put money down eventually on certain things that is a need that has to be paid for.
That's a staple.
Like you would look, I mean, like literally, it's like if you're not willing to spend paper, if you're not willing to buy paper to print out for an invoice or whatever, or to print out receipt for your tenant, or I mean for whatever, if you, whether you were a realtor, whatever the case may be, if you're not willing to spend the money to get to giving great customer service, don't do business. I tell people that all the
time. In a lot of people that try this endeavor, and they have to show up for themselves. They do not show up for themselves. You have to pay to play. First and foremost, you have to be willing to invest in yourself to build and expand your business. So that means from $1 to $1,000 to $1 million. You have to keep reinvesting in yourself, and you have to show up. You have to be there. If you can go in at the 9 to 5, you should be able to clock in for yourself. Do you know how many people lose their business because they didn't actually show up ever? Like, what was the point if you weren't going to be there? So you have to show up for yourself. Whether you're helping someone else, whether you're doing this for yourself, you have to show up for yourself.
Cool. With that being said, I think Jen said a handful of advice. Take note what she said, because she's got experience in business. So definitely take heart. She's definitely the go-getter. She definitely takes the grit, goes out and persevere, and she's she's overcome a lot of different things, and I'm super, super proud of her. With that being said, we about to go into the favorite section. I can't wait to season 2. I'm about to be rolling in some music and doing some crazy stuff on my favorite section of my podcast. It's called #ShaySuggestions, where at this point, the host, whoever I ask as a speaker, I ask them to come up with 2 questions to blindside me, that I will now be getting the liberty of knowing what these questions are. So for question number 1, what is that question that you have for me, Jen?
Okay, so question number 1. So I know you remember the conversation that we had at the salon, and I said, Sheree, you're always supporting everyone. When are you going to do this for yourself? Because you always have talked to me about so many different things that you wanted to do, but you hadn't done it.
Okay.
So what made it click for you to let me really try to do this? What was it? Because I know you.
I remember this conversation to a T. This was about 2 years ago. I think it was back in I think it was 2018-ish to 2019, because I remember that was my former mentor. We're not gonna go. That was my former mentor. There's a reason why that person is my former mentor. But you and one of my other friends definitely said, yo, you support this, you go to this event, that event. And that was a time where, you know, like I told, like there's a process we have to go through with mindset, me becoming the mindset coach that I am as a mental fitness coach. That's what I could really reference to. And I had to build upon a strength in my mindset, but I had to learn from people that have already been going out and getting it. And then I had to basically build relationships and stuff like that. Now I'm very intentional. So when you was like, something you said earlier about being intentional about taking classes, I'm now at a point where I'm intentional about what I absorb in. So like prime example, the book I'm reading right now is called 9 to 5 Millionaire, Don't Quit Your Day Job. So as much as I want to quit my day job, I'm getting the resources to not quit my day job. And when I was going to these events and stuff like that, I was just basically absorbing all I could take in until I got to the point, till I got to the confidence of, okay, you can do this on your own. What really sprouted was 2019, when my former mentors, who was a billionaire, actually, I basically convinced her to go to Spence paid for, so she wasn't that all around bad, but there's a reason why we parted ways. But long story short, me did a whole presentation because of something I believed in. I convinced her to go to a 10 to the 10x growth conference. All expense paid for. I basically went all out, told her about the speakers, told her about what the pros and cons of the events. I told her why you should go, and it was one of my dreams come true of happening. And that honestly built me. That was that was probably my aha moment of, okay, it's time, you're ready now, let's go out and do it. So literally about, I strengthened my mental health. That was one thing that I was, going through for years and stuff like that. I had suicide thoughts. I didn't feel like I was enough. To be honestly, like a beginning years of when I started getting my hair done with Jen, she was when I started being one of my supporting cast, when I started trying to really overcome that. There's times I was in tears at the salon and stuff like that. Like literally, I'm gonna let you guys know, whoever does intern, like real deep, like your self-care services is your mini therapist. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Jen is one of my mini therapists. Sally, I'm gonna get her on season 2. She's one of my mini therapists when she's my esthetician. But overall, they basically uplifted me to, go out for it, go for it and stuff like that. Me still being in the early stages of being a coach, but still I know I got what it takes. It's because the simple fact is I just basically had to go through that process first of, building my confidence, getting the tools and resources, and then I actually found the right type of mentor and coach. I mean, I've been rocking with him for 2 years, and if I really when I really have a phenomenal, consistent, crazy year, the results is going to show itself. So that's what it's all about. It's honestly, like I tell people,
it's all about being consistent. It's all
you got to be consistent. Like in entrepreneurship, I know when I'm at my best, I know when like literally I was talking to one of my accountability entrepreneur friends, and we were doing a reflection session, and we looked at we was able to pinpoint when was our best moments of the year of our business, when was the worst moments of our business, and why. And the whys were most times was the inconsistencies. Literally, when I was consistent, I'm not saying I'm not gonna tell you there's not one entrepreneur that's never 100% on course of being consistent. So there's points you're gonna fall off, but I tell you, it's easy. I tell people all the time, just like it's easy to punch a clock, it's easy to fall off. But it's easy to keep on going to that job with a purpose and an expiration date, and it's easy to get back on with your job, to get back on to your business. Like easily, like you could have said, you know what, I'm just gonna find a corporate job. I'm done with this business stuff. I got bills to pay. Screw this, whatever the case may be. But you didn't allow it to happen, and I really respect you for that. And that's the whole thing when it comes to entrepreneurship. You got to build that mindset. I tell people all the time, the first thing in entrepreneurship, if you saying, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur, you don't know what to do, mindset. You got to be
able to talk to somebody that you can trust, because you can't talk to everybody.
And it honestly, sometimes it should not be your friend. It should not be your friend. And honestly, it should be somebody you will want to, ideally, they're worth paying. Because if they want to have experience, I would never go to somebody like Prince Donnell, even Jen. If I wanted to have a business session, Sally, that's my esthetician and stuff like that. If I wanted to have a one-on-one, real heart-to-heart talk session, I would literally still pay them for their time and stuff like that. And if you're not willing, if that's a golden rule as an entrepreneur. If you just always thinking free, stick to YouTube, but you're not gonna get that far. I guarantee. The people that are able to drop 15, my coach, my personal coach, my business coach, he just literally, he said it with a serious face. I dropped 15,000 on my mastermind. No lie. 15,000 on a mastermind. Like, who says that? And you really, and I want to get on that level. I mean, Jim might I want to get on that level.
I've spent thousands of dollars
exactly
reinvesting in myself. You have to.
Otherwise, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna grow. You can't tell me one entrepreneur that didn't put another dollar back into personal development, especially they didn't put back into coaching and stuff like that. And you don't like I said, like me, like prime example, like Jen can't say she's a hairstylist and she don't even basically back it up by basically going to treatments and stuff like that. And that's the concept from a coaching spectrum. How are you gonna be a coach if you don't have a coach? I have a coach. So if anybody come at me and saying, "Oh, well, you a coach," like I can get my certification. There's several coaches that's out here that don't even have a coach, and I'm like, they're in the wrong. They're not growing. They're not prospering. And I kid you not, I want to hire them because as they said, they don't support their own craft. If
Right.
Jen didn't basically invest in treatments and she didn't invest in, she probably wouldn't be my hairstylist because, you know, like literally it took me years because some of these entrepreneurs literally like hair, especially from a hairstylist, they would just, they was not talking to talk. They was all about the money. They was trying to get the high bid in hairstyle. So you could just basically walk out and your hair could be broken off, but they good because they got $200-300 in their pocket because they good. They made you look good for whatever time period. And sometimes those stylists didn't even look good after an XYZ time frame. So I'm fortunate enough, just like I took a hair journey to get to Jen, it took a journey for me as an entrepreneur to get where I'm at now.
And all powwows is your best friend. So I always ask people that's in other businesses that's not like mine at all, as a customer standpoint, and we bounce things and ideas off of each other because as a customer standpoint from my business looking onto theirs or vice versa, that's another way to be able to see like what do you have and don't have, because just because it's different business don't mean the foundation is always going and the fundamentals is always going to be the same. So you might learn something from them and vice versa, and you could add that to your business, and what you do at your business you could add it to theirs. So
I like that method. I love it. I love that method because honestly, that's another true key factor. There is actually encouraged, and I did hear this actually either in a speak or in a book, that you should sometimes go to conferences that don't relate to your necessary.
Relate to your business.
But you can put it back into your business. That's a whole nother mentality and creative. That honestly that keeps you creative, because if you just stay stagnant, how can you grow?
Right.
You know, like literally, like I don't want nobody. Like I mean, the funny thing is, Jen, we're not gonna go into too much, but Jen knows a little bit more. She knows the person I'm talking about. But this person that recently cut ties with me because we weren't alike, and I'm like, so because at the end of the day, regardless in business or relationship and stuff like that, you shouldn't want somebody around you that's just alike, because you're not gonna grow. If me and Jen was just alike, we would never grow as individuals. Like I seen the growth in both of us because the simple fact that we're so different in different spectrums, you know, and stuff like that. She bounces off me, I bounce off of her, and vice versa. And it would never happen is if we were so alike. And it's like, okay, because we couldn't come up with nothing creative, because you just like, you know, like me, like I try not to stay around a lot of mindset coaches because I'm not gonna. Wasn't like literally like I'm like the book that I'm reading is from a realtor investor / he's a former cop. Like literally that showed you firsthand that that's a different person that's thinking on different rounds. And if you basically stay in the same shadow of being just alike with everybody, you're not going to grow and prosper.
Oh, no. So powwows are awesome. That's my favorite. I love powwows. Mm-hmm. Asking questions, just getting down and deep into like conversations. I've been to other people's shows and it's the best time ever. One year I actually picked out a whole prom line was at 2015. I went to the prom show in Atlanta with one of my clients that owns a prom store in the Eastern Hills Mall. Like I had a ball, and it was one of the best times ever. And it's like these dresses I picked out, the young ladies wore that season. So it was awesome. You learn so much.
So with questions, what is my question number 2?
Question number 2, because Sharaya has come so far and I'm so proud of her.
She gotta use my government name, but you know. yeah.
Shay-on-a-Mission. When you moved, how did you feel when you moved into your new place?
Oh man. This is a good one. Ain't nobody asking about my moving since I moved in. Okay, so I'm gonna rewind.
Gorgeous plaque behind you. Before you had a whole different backdrop. Now you got a.
Oh yeah. I had a. If you looked at my previous earlier in this year podcast when I really started to do this podcast, The background was it was a bookcase. It was actually a laminated type of bookcase thing. I don't even know. I think I threw that thing out. Matter of fact, I think I did. I don't even got it no more.
It was a step.
It was a 7 stage. I didn't need it no more, and I'm trying to condense down. I got too much paper as it is. Long story short, what Jen is getting at, for 5 years, I was living in a rooming house. Jen and a few of my close, like I probably think like with like 5 or 10 of my close confidants knew. So, and Jen never been in a place. Several and nobody never been in a place. Like literally, like I didn't invite nobody over for because of the simple fact that it was just so just small and it was so confined and just some points I was embarrassed, but it was just it was part of my stage.
You would never know. You were so supportive. You were everywhere. You would have never known that she was
exactly. People didn't know I went to an event and then came back walked up 16 flight of stairs to my room and everything like that. So yes, I could have been out longer, but what got me first to the rooming house was I got out of a 9-year relationship. Yes, I have a lot of family in Buffalo, yeah, and stuff like that. But my familial ties is not the best, and it's okay because literally I consider Jen, like I said, as one of my sisters. Nobody can be never replaced with my family, but I think that I'm just gonna be real with it. Like I think that blood is not just family, and it's not thicker than water. So this is not to diss my family. This is not to say anything, downplay or whatever. But at the time where I just was constantly going back and forth in that 9-year relationship, I had sometimes had familial help, but it just didn't work out with the familial help. I went back to the relationship with that, and I said, you know what? Once I got to this last moment, I said, you know what? The next time I move out of this toxic situation, and when it's time for me to really leave, I'm going to be in my own place. I don't care if it's a rooming house. So I found a place. I knew that I speak that into existence probably 2 years prior to the end of the relationship. When I finally said, you know what, that it's time to move on, guys started, literally looked in the newspaper, found it, called them up, went to go look. By that Friday, April, I was April of 2017, I was able to move into the place. Was it April 2000? It was something like that. The years later, April of 2021, I was able to, when was that? That was 2017. April of 2017, I moved in there because it's 5 years. No, 2016, my bad, because it's 2000, yeah, 5 years. So April 2016 was when I moved in to the rooming house. April 2021, approximately about 5 years, I said, you know what, this is the last year.
I'm gonna have my own place. I'm gonna have my own place.
I said that was my like nothing can top my year this year. Nothing can top my year because that was one of my top things. Because the whole thing is I could have I had a good paying, FedEx was a good paying job. I could have, honestly, my mind wasn't there because you want to know why? I invested the reason why I could have moved out sooner is if I basically ignored all my entrepreneurial goals, my entrepreneurial journey, and everything like that. I had to basically say it's time when God started fit for me when it was time, and that was when it was time. During those 5 years, I had to unheal. It was like, just like we said, we can't just snap and say, oh, we're going to do a business. I couldn't say I moved into a room house, boom, I'm going to go move into a 2-bedroom. Like it wasn't, my mindset process wasn't there. I had to unravel being solo, taking care of myself only, doing me. That was a mini healing within myself. So when people are like, yo, you took too long to listen, I'm like, in theory, yeah, I could have grinded with it, but at the same time, that's my journey alone. And that's what I'm gonna tell you people, you can't rush the process. These 5 years was my healing process. It was my healing. I had some, suitors that just didn't work out over the course of the time. Thank God. We're not gonna talk about that. But overall, that took me up into the point. And when I finally went to the place, literally found it. Matter of fact, I found a rooming house on Craigslist. I didn't find a newspaper. It was Craigslist. Called them up, and then I went and looked at the place. Same way, when I went into getting my apartment, I called them up. Kid you not, my landlord he told me literally the same day when I went to go meet him, the next day when I went to meet him, he said, I put that up within an hour. You was the first person, and then I stopped talking to anybody else. So right then and there, it was meant for me to be that. I was meant to. He didn't take no other calls. I said, yo, I work for FedEx. I got the money. I basically, some people utilized and spent whatever crazy money for their money that they got from the government, the COVID money that they got. I saved my money on top of saving some other stuff and saving. I had some business, my Woman on a Mission, something had in. So I saved a lot of my money, and then that's how I love the place. It was exactly what I needed. It was exactly more than I expected. It was advertised as a 2-bedroom, but it was actually a 3-bedroom. And yeah, my 3rd bedroom project is my workout room. So that would be winter of 2022. That's what I'll be working on. I'll be taking pictures of that. So stay tuned for that. But that day was so emotional when I took. It was crazy because I took that weekend off when I went to go to the apartment, and it was originally supposed to be for business. But I said, I'm canceling all business activity. I'm just gonna take the weekend off, do whatever. That same weekend was the weekend that I went to go look at the apartment. I said, yo, I can go to the bank right now, get the check. Came back within an hour. The check was mine. The keys was, and I wanted to get out of it. And I wanted to get out of that place. I wanted to get out of that place so badly. I said, yo, can I come in? Because it was mid-April. It was like not mid, but it was the last week of April. I had enough money. Not only
that morning.
Huh?
I saw you that day. You got your hair done that morning.
Did I get my?
Yes.
I got my hair done that day. No, I went straight to him.
I saw you because you had to go take the check. You had to go take the check so you could I saw you.
I went to him first thing in the morning at 9:00. So I don't know. I must have went to you that day.
So within that weekend, then we talked about it. I saw you because you said you had to drop the check off. So it must have been the day before. I don't know. But within those few days, you came and got your hair done. We talked about it.
I got my hair done. It was. I think it was the week after. Honestly, she don't got her timeline right. But whatever.
No, I saw you where you had dropped it off. I want to say it had to be. Then maybe you dropped it off the next morning. But all I know was I
dropped it off the same day. I saw the apartment. I might have seen you that same. I might have had a hair appointment at 1:00. But that day I went to go see the apartment, went to the bank, and then I came right back to him. So at that given moment,
must have been in that same time frame.
It wasn't. I know we talked
about it. I know we talked about it.
It might have been that Tuesday after when I got my hair done, but whatever the case may be. Either way, we figured it out. Yeah, because I had a 4-day weekend. I remember that specifically because I hated my FedEx schedule. But either way, she saw me during the week, and that time was so emotional. I think I teared. I don't even remember who I called first. I didn't call nobody until I basically gave the check in his hands. I think I called my best friend Angelique, my godmom. I think my mentee at the time. And that's what happened. So that experience was so emotional. Granted, yes, I'm now ready to level up and get my own house. So that's I'm working on my credit right now, working on saving up, banking up. And if you had told me, I tell this all the time. Matter of fact, I just got the phone with my coach about an hour ago. And I said, if you had told me 8 months ago, I was gonna be having my own place in a 3-bedroom. And then on top of that, I got a few other pluses. Like I got me a new car. That's a whole nother story because literally, I'm just gonna give you an insight. Just like how Jen had her own things that happened during COVID. Mine was after COVID, and a week after I got my place, a FedEx driver crashed into my car.
Yes,
but I got a nice red Jeep Renegade right outside. So to God be the glory on that one. And then now I'm working from home, and I was able to leave FedEx, and now I get to work from home, and we work on my business full time at the same time. So that tells you that I'm blessed. Like I said, moving into my place was honestly the top thing. I don't really honestly I care, but I don't I really don't even care to get anything for Christmas because my Christmas gift already happened 10 times fold. I don't even care if I spend New Year's by myself because the ultimate thing that I wanted for this whole year was to just be in my own new place. And for me to have furniture, have my own office now, that I'm sitting in right now, for me to have my own bedroom.
I'm so proud.
For me, and you still have, you know what? How she gonna ask the question? She ain't been over my place yet.
I know I gotta get over.
She gotta get over my place yet. So I just thought about it. I'm like, she didn't come on my place yet.
But I know it was something that was so important to you.
Yeah.
This was a part of our.
I was in tears. I was in tears the day of. I don't think I was in tears the movement. No, I was in so much. I was ready to, like, I was getting my mover out. I was like, yo, we gotta hurry up and get this assembly going. Like, we gotta go. Like, literally, I'm ready to be out. Like, I don't care where I left my refrigerator. That was one of the top things. I was about to leave I left my refrigerator. I'm like, that refrigerator can stay. It was about to die out any given moment. The next person I could bless, they could be blessed and keep that refrigerator because they don't offer little mini refrigerators. So I just took what I could and I just bounced. Like, literally, like, I was happy with it. My old former landlord, he said some shysty stuff like, oh yeah, I thought you knew you was gonna be. I'm like, yo, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. You like hater. I'm like that haterade spirit. You gonna get haters. I'm gonna let you know as you come up, you gonna get haters. So keep on grinding.
Gotta talk to people that you trust. You have to talk to people that you trust because
and you're gonna at the same time people gonna fall off. People are gonna fall off. Like I said, the person that was my mover, I know
people is gonna be there.
Yep, as you climb, people gonna fall. You're gonna show. Like, I mean, as I climb, I know Jen is gonna be someone of people. Like, I told her flat out, I said, yo, when I do speaking engagements and going out of town, be prepared that I'm gonna be flying you a ticket. Like, yo, I need you to do my hair in between on a Sunday or Monday. Like, listen, I know Jen's schedule to a T. To a certain degree, I know when she's going out of town. I know when she's just gonna be like bits and pieces for the most part. We talk every 2 weeks, give or take, because I get my hair done. I know. So I said, people I know that's gonna grow with me and gonna come with me, they're gonna be there. Like, literally, like I told you, like Jen knows. I said, yo, be prepared when I say, yo, I need, like, yo, I'm gonna be like out of town for like weeks at a time, and I'm not gonna trust these hairstylists out here unless I really, really need to. And I'm gonna say, Jen, I'm flying you down using my company card, black card. I speak it into, you got to speak it into fruition to make it happen. And when it happens, I'm going to tell people to go back to the end of this podcast. And when I said to Jen, hey, what's that? And Jen like, yo, go back to episode XYZ. And Shay said she's going to mail me, she's going to fly me down and get my hair done. I'm going to be like, yo, you really flow your, absolutely. Why not?
No, you got to say flued out.
Flued out. Man, but Jen, I told you I was gonna try and keep this to an hour. We had she was a little bit nervous, but everybody give her props because she definitely did a good job for her first podcast. And I mean, I wasn't gonna disclose this, but we're gonna make it happen because she's gonna be one of the speakers. I'm leveling her up. Everybody that's gonna be around me gotta level up, want to level up too. And Jen is that person, so she is level up with me, and I'm gonna formally introduce her as one of the speakers for the Women on a Mission for 2022. So yes. With the exception, I think it clashes with your birthday, but either way, we're doing something in 2022. We're gonna figure that out right after we get off this. I just thought about that. But either way, everybody, you have a great one, whether you listen to this in the morning, afternoon. I didn't forget. Okay. Make sure that you all tune in to my podcast. I'll be posting. This is season 1. My name is Shay-on-a-Mission. You can follow me on across the board all Instagrams, Facebook, eventually Twitter. I do got Twitter. Eventually TikTok's gonna get advanced, and YouTube is getting upgraded. And just be on the lookout for what I got going on. And I gotta basically bounce it back to Jen. Jen wants to, she's gonna close out how to find her, what she got going on in her salon. You need to basically rock and support her. So Jen, I'm gonna leave that to you, and then we'll close out with this podcast episode.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so JNRSalonandDaySpa.com is how you book with myself or any of the rest of the stylists or the nail technician. Shop JNR Salon and Day Spa is my online store. I'm not sure if you can see this really well. It's my online store. I have a scammy on the back. So you can also book from there, but this is solely for my store. This is one of my logos. I have a few different ones. And this is a branded shirt because I have a brush that I created called the Perfect Wrap Brush. I actually came up with this concept back in 2017 when I was taking a business class. And I had my business coach at that time. And he said to step outside the box. And because my beautiful clients, I thought they were wrapping their hair and putting their scarves on after they would leave to get services. They weren't. Or they said they knew how to wrap hair and they didn't. and they didn't have the proper tools. So basically it's double-sided, smooth and tighten. So that is my little slogan, get smooth and
You didn't
tighten.
tell me about that one. That must be new.
So you smooth it out, and then you flip it and you tighten it, and then you tie your scarf on.
Wow. Wow, I'm going
And
to get
you'll
that.
also see how that is used on my YouTube, J&R Salon and Day Spa. Is my YouTube. I have a couple of videos up to teach you how to perfectly wrap your hair, hence the name, the Perfect Wrap Brush. This is bamboo, has my name on it. I also did this during the second shutdown because I said it was now or never. We were going into our 5-year anniversary, and I said, closed again. I'm gonna open, and I'm gonna make this happen. So this was where the store and the brand all started from. Was my Perfect Wrap Brush. I have apparel because everybody know I love jackets, and I literally pay attention to what all my clients wear. And even Shay-on-a-Mission, she loves her jackets.
Yep. I hate me having taken off. She need to find. She need to find. Yep. She got a zip in, and it works out perfectly.
Yes,
I love it.
it turns into a bag, so you don't have to walk around with it. You could turn it. You could flip it into a bag. As you can see, Shay has on a hoodie because she's a hoodie girl. So hoodie, it says it takes a village to build a business, because it does take a village to build a business. I cannot do this without my customers. I can't do this without my friends. I can't do this without my family. So this is the original quote. And all of my clients love hoodies, especially Shay. So everything that I created with everybody.
Oh, y'all wasn't trying to go back to black for a minute, but I'm that might have to be added into my collection. I got too many. I got too many hoodie collections.
And then everybody knows that I am a blanket person. We are a blanket family. We've always been a blanket family. And everybody knows my quotes. And my quote is, I can't wait till summer.
Oh yeah, she can't stand the winter.
I can't. So it says, oh dear, I can't wait till summer. And it's my little throw, because we are a blanket family. And if everybody knows, prior to COVID in the wintertime, in my waiting area, it was always a blanket there, because I always wanted my customers to be comfortable. And everybody knows I love my salon babies, and I will bundle them up in that blanket and lay them down on the couch, because I baby my babies, and I pat them and rub them, and I will bundle them up in the blanket.
So wait. Do you got your one final thing? Where's your hat at? Where's the hat at?
The hat is at the salon. It's at
we're gonna take a picture. What is it? The pictures, the actual when we drop this podcast episode, definitely be on the lookout.
Yes, it says Bad Hair Day.
It says
so
Bad
all
Hair
of those
Day.
items is on the shop jnrsalon.com. And you can also reach the store at the J&R Salon and Day Spa website. At the very top, it says shop now, and a gold button. If you push that, it will also direct you to the store. So I have 2 separate websites, but they are both linked to each other.
Yep, that's the entrepreneur way. You're supposed to outlet it. You know, like my business called Mission Builder Movement LLC. But if you want to know more about Shay-on-a-Mission, it's gonna be linked to Shay-on-a-Mission. So with that being said,
one more thing. Sorry, Facebook is J&R Salon. And then on Instagram is Jennifer 3636 J&R Salon. And then, like Shay said, I need to get popping on my YouTube, and I'm gonna look into TikTok, because she knows that I don't know how to do these things. So
learn together. We're gonna learn together, because it's the marketing, you know. That's what. But at the same time, that's one thing about growth with entrepreneur. Like we're willing to get out our comfort zone. If you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, one final tip: if you're not willing to get out of your comfort zone, don't do business. Don't do business. Don't do business, because business is meant for you to grow. It's not meant for you to be stagnant. It's not meant for you to be stagnant. It's not for you to be under the hush hush. Like when people are like, oh, well, there's closet millionaires. Okay, yeah, there's closet millionaires, but at the same time, I guarantee they had to build relationships with people.
Right.
They had to get out of there. Name one. I can't. You can't name. You tell me the day when you tell me you name one millionaire that built the whole building, did all the advertising, did all the 100 calls for one line when there's 20 calls. Tell me a millionaire that made that did all that work, and then I'm gonna tell you bluffing, because there's not one millionaire.
So you
That
have to make friendships, you have to make bonds, and you have to work with people that you trust. You have to. That's the
and,
only
and you gotta build trust with them too. Like literally, like you gotta the way, like Jen didn't, like I didn't trust Jen thoroughly. Like we went to high school together, but I had to build when I really started way, I didn't trust her even when like the early, like I didn't want to hear all that. I don't think I was starting off taking I didn't start taking treatments right away. I think I started taking treatments like 2-3 months afterwards. And now every time, the only time she knows, like, yo, I gotta cut back, can't do no treatments. That happened one time in probably like 2 years, whatever. But most times I always do treatments with her and stuff like that. So that shows that you got to build a team, build trust, and continue on going on forward. So I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. If you guys have any questions about the hair industry, definitely reach out to Jen, because she will definitely get you.
for that matter, because I could.
Yeah, she has experience. She has
five.
I mean, literally, they say you on your when you surpass being in an entrepreneur and full-fledged business, after the she's passed the five very, very struggle years, because the first 5 is a struggle year.
Just opening my business.
Just
so
opening
as a professional, I've been in the industry for 14 years. But just to have my very own location with other people there, yes, we're in our 6th year now.
Yeah, so she's, so literally that shows that she's here to stay. She's here to come up, and she's here to help. And thank you for helping my audience understand another perspective of how this entrepreneurial journey is real, but it could be so much rewarding. So with that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in for another great episode of Mission Mementos podcast. Definitely would love for you to like, share, and comment, and share this to somebody, real talk. So you guys have a blessed one. Thank you again, Jen. Love you guys. Talk to you guys soon. This is the end of another great episode. Love y'all.